has clapped back at Cathy Engelbert. And this is a great post here from Sophie. So Sophie Cunningham on Instagram. So get ready to take your fine, Sophie. Get ready to take your fine.
The WNBA may have hoped the firestorm was dying down, but Sophie Cunningham just reignited it. After Cathy Engelbert's shocking remarks about Caitlin Clark, Cunningham blasted her publicly, and Lexi Hull quickly backed up Nneka Collier's explosive claims. Now the commissioner faces even more backlash, raising the question, has Engelbert completely lost her grip on the league?
People only know Cathy because of Caitlin. She's the most delusional leader our league has ever seen. And it shouldn't even be about our commissioner in the first place. She's not wrong about that. It is very clear that Cathy Engelbert is pissed off that she's not the face of the league.
Here we go again. Another day, another WNBA controversy. And no surprise, it all leads back to the same person who somehow manages to make things worse week after week. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. At this point, she might as well hand out fine sheets to every player the moment they step into practice, because clearly, in today's league, speaking your mind has become the ultimate offense. So let's break this down clearly and see how we got here.
Thank you all for your time today. I have prepared a statement that I would like to make before taking any questions. All right. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate the Mercury for advancing to the finals. And I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money, it isn't ratings, or even missed calls, or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates.
Sophie Collier kicked off the firestorm with a press conference that felt less like an exit interview and more like a full-on carpet bombing. She blasted Engelbert as tone-deaf, accused the league of brushing off officiating disasters, and went straight for the jugular, saying WNBA leadership doesn't value its players. Those weren't paraphrased words either. She flat out said it. They don't value the players, they don't care about the product, and they've let officiating become a joke.
Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is the lack of accountability from our leaders. Sorry, I had to walk here in my boot. I'm kind of out of breath. The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Fans see it every night. Coaches, both winning and losing, point it out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way.
Collier didn't stop there. She exposed private conversations with Engelbert that left jaws on the floor. When Collier brought up officiating concerns, Engelbert allegedly dismissed her with, "Only losers complain about refs." Think about that. A commissioner calling her own athletes whiny losers. Brilliant leadership, right? That's like a boss strolling into a meeting and telling employees, if you don't like the broken air conditioning, you're just lazy complainers.
At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Cathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $60 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them.
And it got worse. Collier claimed Engelbert even downplayed Caitlin Clark's impact, saying Clark should be grateful for the WNBA because without it, she wouldn't have sponsorship money. Excuse me? Clark was already cashing massive nil deals at Iowa, selling out arenas, and turning women's basketball into prime time before Engelbert ever entered the picture. To suggest Clark owes her success to the league is laughable. It's actually the opposite. The WNBA owes its surge in relevance and revenue to Clark.
Why these players are getting screwed in the CBA, by the way. She gave up 18 extra percent. She sold 18% of the league. She sold 18% of the league to private investors. Yes, the league might have needed that 18% initially, but if she had not made that deal 2 years ago, 2 years before the Caitlin Clark boom, like, this is how bad it's gotten. Troy Dan is tweeting about it. You guys know how crazy this is. Troy Dan is tweeting about it. Like, you know this is bad. This is bad when Troy Dan is tweeting about it. Like, I'm not, like, this is bad. And Sophie's on the money.
The WNBA meltdown. Sophie, Lexi, and Nafisa lead the revolt against Cathy Engelbert. Here we go again. Another day, another headline, and no surprise. It all comes back to the one person who somehow makes things worse every single week. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. At this point, she might as well hand every player a fine sheet the moment they step into practice. Because apparently, in Engelbert's WNBA, speaking your mind is the new crime that lets break it down, because the situation just went from bad to catastrophic. Nafisa Collier lights the fuse that IT all started with Nafisa Collier. Her season-ending press conference wasn't an exit interview. It was a full-blown scorched earth campaign. She didn't mince words. She torched Engelbert publicly. Collier accused WNBA leadership of being tone-deaf, ignoring officiating disasters, and flat-out refusing to value the players themselves. And just so we're clear, that's not me paraphrasing. Those were her exact words. They don't value the players. They don't care about the product. They've let officiating spiral into a joke. Think about the weight of that. One of the league's most respected veterans standing up and saying the WNBA doesn't care about the players or the game. That's not a critique, that's an indictment, but Collier wasn't finished. She pulled back the curtain on private conversations with Engelbert that stunned fans, media, and even players. According to Collier, when she raised concerns about refereeing, Engelbert brushed her off with, "Only losers complain about refs." Imagine that. You're the commissioner of a professional sports league, and you basically call your own athletes whiny losers for raising legitimate concerns about the quality of officiating. That's not leadership, that's arrogance. It's the equivalent of a CEO walking into a staff meeting and telling the employees, "If you don't like the broken air conditioning, you're just lazy complainers." Brilliant move, Cathy. Truly. Caitlin Clark enters the crossfire. Then came the part that pushed this from bad to explosive. Collier alleged Engelbert dismissed Caitlin Clark's value to the league, claiming Clark should be grateful the WNBA gave her a platform. According to Engelbert, without the league, Clark wouldn't be making money off sponsorships. Excuse me? That's where jaws hit the floor, because here's reality. Clark was pulling in massive nil deals at Iowa before she ever stepped foot into the league. She was selling out arenas. She was turning women's basketball into primetime television. She had millions tuning in to watch her play in college. Clark didn't need the WNBA to become a star. If anything, the WNBA needed her. The TO claim otherwise is laughable. Actually, it's insulting. It's the equivalent of telling Taylor Swift she should thank a karaoke bar for letting her sing. And that's where Engelbert's credibility really began to crumble. Because fans know the truth, the league owes its recent surge in relevance to Caitlin Clark, not the other way around. Sophie Cunningham blows the doors off. The WNBA might have hoped the firestorm would die down. But then Sophie Cunningham logged on, and that hope went up in smoke. Sophie has never been shy. She's fiery on the court, fiery in interviews, and she doesn't bite her tongue. So when Engelbert's Clark should be grateful line hit the internet, Sophie torched her, publicly, brutally, and without hesitation. Her words, "Cathy Engelbert is the most delusional leader our league has ever seen and should never be commissioner in the first place." Boom. Mic drop. That wasn't some rookie trying to grab attention. Sophie has been around. She's built her brand. She's part of the league's growth. When she calls out the commissioner with that kind of fire, it signals something bigger. This frustration isn't just from fans online. It's boiling over in locker rooms, too. And Sophie didn't hedge her comments. No PR fluff. No softened edges. Just straight up called the commissioner delusional. That's as raw as it gets. Fans rallied behind her instantly. Social media lit up with support. with some even joking about starting GoFundMe pages to cover her inevitable fine. When a fan base is literally preparing to crowdfund players' punishments just for speaking truth, that's a league in crisis. Lexi Hull adds fuel to the fire. And then came Lexi Hull. Normally, Lexi is more known for her defense and hustle than for making headlines with her quotes. But even she couldn't stay silent this time. Lexi publicly backed Collier, saying she agreed with everything Collier said and was proud of her for speaking up. That might not sound explosive at first, but it's huge. Because when even the quieter, steadier voices start going public, you know the frustration is universal. This isn't just a one-off rant. It's not just Nafisa being fed up. It's a movement now that a pattern of suppression. And let's not ignore the bigger picture. Sophie and Lexi's voices are the latest in a long line of frustrated players and coaches. Cheryl Reeve called out officiating and got suspended. Becky Hammond agreed with her and got fined. Stephanie White hinted at inconsistencies and got fined too. The deal, you see the pattern? Players and coaches get punished for speaking truth. Referees get a free pass. Leadership never takes blame. Engelbert's WNBA doesn't operate on collaboration. It operates on control. And the players are finally pushing back. The Caitlin Clark factor. Make no mistake, this all circles back to Caitlin Clark. Whether Engelbert wants to admit it or not, Clark is the gravitational center of the league right now. Her games bring the highest TV numbers, the largest crowds, and the biggest social media buzz. Yet, what has the league done to protect her? Nothing. She's been targeted all year, battered with physical play that borders on cheap shots. She's been shoved to the floor, hacked, harassed, and referees swallow their whistles. Coaches who defend her get fined. Fans see it. And now, players are calling it out too. The optics are brutal. Engelbert underestimated how obvious this all looks. Fans aren't dumb. They see Clark taking hits without calls. They see stars punished for speaking up. And now they see the commissioner herself downplaying Clark's importance. That's a PR disaster you can't spin away with press releases. The larger problem, leadership. This isn't just about refereeing. It's not just about Clark. It's about leadership. Or rather, the complete lack of it. Engelbert runs the WNBA like a corporate CEO, not like a commissioner who understands athletes. She brags about billion-dollar media deals, but ignores the human side of the league. Players get injured, silence. Fans complain about the physicality, shrug. Coaches ask for consistency. Find them that are the leadership style that prioritizes spreadsheets over people. And in a league built on connection between players and fans, that's a fatal flaw. Collier said it best. There's no accountability from the top. None. Players are fined. Coaches are suspended. But refs? Never held accountable. Leadership? Never takes blame, and fans notice the looming CBA war if there's another storm brewing. The WNBA is heading into a new collective bargaining agreement, CBA negotiation. Players want charter flights, better salaries, and safer conditions. Engelbert keeps hiding behind the word sustainability, like it's a magic shield against criticism. Meanwhile, the league brags about billion-dollar media deals. You can't cry poor while cashing billion-dollar checks. That disconnect is fueling this revolt as much as the officiating is. And here's where things get dangerous for Engelbert. This isn't just criticism anymore. It's becoming a league-wide revolt. Rival leagues smell blood, don't forget. Collier is co-founding Unrivaled, the new women's league set to launch. Critics will argue she has an agenda. Sure, she does. But that doesn't make her wrong. Sometimes it takes someone with less to lose to say what everyone else is already thinking. And with Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull backing her up, players with no direct ties to Unrivaled. It's clear this is bigger than Collier's project. Unrivaled is sitting back, grinning, waiting to scoop up talent if the WNBA keeps imploding. And if Engelbert continues alienating players, don't be surprised if stars start making the jump. The NBA's role, but here's the wild card, Adam Silver and the NBA. Remember, the WNBA operates under the NBA's umbrella. Billion-dollar media deals were negotiated with Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Buchers in mind. The NBA has a vested interest in protecting that investment. But if Clark keeps getting hammered, if Angel Reese becomes a sideshow for cheap drama, and if veterans like Collier keep blasting leadership, the NBA has to act. Silver can only look the other way for so long. At some point, money talks. Billion-dollar contracts don't stay safe when ratings start slipping. That Engelbert's fatal flaw, let's be blunt. The WNBA has the best women's basketball talent in the world, but the worst leadership in professional sports. That Engelbert's biggest mistake is turning herself into the story. A good commissioner should be invisible, working behind the scenes, letting players and coaches shine. Instead, Engelbert keeps making herself the headline, whether through tone-deaf comments, weak leadership, or outright arrogance. Now, instead of talking about playoff basketball, everyone's talking about her. And every time she responds with another bland corporate PR statement, she digs the hole deeper. The breaking point. So, what happens next? There are two possible outcomes. The NBA lets Engelbert limp into the CBA negotiations, then quietly ushers her out with a victory lap for securing media deals. Or if the pressure keeps building, they cut ties sooner. Because here's the reality. You can't have your commissioner openly mocked by your own players week after week. It undermines the credibility of a league itself. And the damage is already showing. Fans are tuning out. Attendance outside Fever games is flat. Social media is filled with fans saying they're done watching until Clark is protected. That's not just noise. That's a warning siren. Final word. Let's call it like it is. Sophie Cunningham called Cathy Engelbert the most delusional commissioner ever. Lexi Hall backed Nafisa Collier's blistering critique. Fans are rallying behind the players instead of a league office. This isn't just drama. This is an earthquake shaking the WNBA to its core. And unless leadership changes course or changes hands, it could implode at the very moment it should be exploding. So here we are. The WNBA is in full-blown meltdown mode, and leadership looks clueless. What do you think? Has Engelbert finally lost the locker room for good?